I have created and posted 1,500 pieces of content over the past 12 months across multiple social media platforms from TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. And today I'm going to share with you some valuable lessons that I've learned on growing an audience of over 600,000 people across platforms. What's up, y'all? I'm Prince Donnell, founder of the Jumping Jack Tax franchise. Shout out to all 223,000 subscribers that are here on my channel right now. If you're new, just to give you a bit of a synopsis, I talk about everything from taxes, insurance, bookkeeping and accounting, scaling your small business, the operational side. So let's get started. I have shot, recorded, and posted 1,500 pieces of content over the past 12 months across, Facebook, which, yes, I still use Facebook. I find it to be highly effective depending upon the marketplace that you're in. Definitely Instagram with the use of Instagram Reels and as such. And then the YouTube, I've just started getting traction on YouTube over the past 9 or so months. And then TikTok 100% because the organic growth on TikTok is insane. Right. And I've posted 1,500 pieces of content across all of these platforms, which is roughly around about 4 pieces of content each and every day over the course of a year, which I would say is above average. I'm not sure what the average is of what people normally post, but I was right around about 4. And I'll tell you lesson number 1 that I've learned in this is, for one, out of those 1,500 pieces of content, only 10 of those have actually gone viral. The other 1,490 did not. And the biggest part to learn, if for you watching this around creating your content, is that everything is not going to be a hit. In fact, 99% of your content is not going to be a hit. It's not supposed to be. Only 10 of those videos went viral. And when I say viral, I mean over 1 million views. That's what's considered viral to me. A collective amount of 1 million views of eyeballs, which is, 1 million people is a lot when you really put that into perspective. And those 10 videos are what, drove up a ton of following for me, right? On Instagram, I got 780,000 followers. I got 600,000 followers on Facebook. I got 650,000 followers on TikTok and now 223,000 here on YouTube, which collectively about 1.5 million audience members between all of these different platforms. And that really came from the 10 videos that, really went viral over the past 12 months. What I've learned is that I can't predict the virality of a piece of content because viral is exactly what it is. It's a phenomenon. Only 10 videos went viral. The other 1,490 did not, but that 1,490 are what kept the people engaged who started following me from the viral pieces of content. You have to understand that it's better to build a community than it is to just be entertaining. Okay? So those 10 videos that went viral attracted a bunch of eyeballs and got them to follow me. But the other 1,490 videos are what kept those eyeballs engaged, which kept the people supporting and now learning about me, learning about my brand, learning about my company, what I do, my values, my standards. And this allowed these people to onboard themselves into my world, into my community. And ultimately, if you want to build a great audience, a great brand as a content creator or an entrepreneur, you have to onboard people into your community because they're going to be your frontline supporters that are going to show up to everything that you do. They're going to show up when you're sad. They're going to show up when you're happy. They're going to show up when you have an event. They're going to show up when you drop a new product or service. They're going to show up when you drop that new video or, on the content side, you want to take it to the next level and you're starting to do short films and movies. They're going to be the ones that show up. They're the ones who are going to be the ambassadors, the supporters, the ones who share it. They're the ones that are going to bring mass adoption to you. Don't try to predict virality. Focus in on building a community, which leads me to lesson number 2. I'd much rather have 5 loyal supporters than 1,000 followers who are just watchers. The reason why is because I want the 5 people that I can pour into every day that are now like, hey, Don, I love you so much. I'm willing to run off a cliff with you, Don. I'm willing to tackle the world with you, Don. I'm willing to fight any cause that's yours, Don. I am your family, right? I only met you online, but I'm your family. Those are the people that you want to engage with. I'd rather have 5 of those. You know why? Because those 5 people now turn into 10. Then those 10 people now turn into 100. And then those 100 people now turn into 1,000, where now you have 1,000 loyal supporters who will buy anything that you put out. They'll stream your music. They'll buy it. They'll show up to events. They'll travel around the country to come see you. Just to put this into perspective, if you built 1,000 supporters and those 1,000 supporters purchased a product from you every month for $25, that is $25,000 in revenue per month and $300,000 in revenue per year. In order to attract 1,000 leads, that's going to cost you if you don't have a community, where you're going to have to spend ad dollars to attract 1,000 leads. And in fact, in order to get 1,000 buyers, you're most likely going to need, upwards of 10,000 prospects to close down 1,000 buyers at 10% if your close ratio is 10%, whether it be on your website, through on the phone orders, right? 10%, which means that you're spending a ton of money to be able to attract people to your product or service in a marketplace that could already be saturated and with a lot of competition. So it's going to cost you a lot of money. And if you don't have the money, then you can't even compete against the companies that do. So the way to combat that is through taking the time to truly build out that audience, give them so much value for free. You should make your stuff so valuable that it's more impactful than what people are charging for the same type of information. You're doing it for free and it's so valuable. That builds 1,000 loyal supporters. And now when you drop something, it doesn't cost you any money to now have those 1,000 individuals pay $25 per month for something. 25,000, 300,000, little to no overhead costs, because you put in the work to build the brand, which leads me to lesson number 3. Take 5 years to build a connection. One of the things I learned when creating 1,500 pieces of content over the course of this year is that even with that much content, it still takes time to build a connection. It still takes time of me being consistent and showing up each and every day. The same way that if I were to try to build a relationship with somebody in person, this takes time. Give yourself 5 years of showing up with commitment, and you're going to see exponential growth when it comes to social. We like to look at a lot of the big influencers and say, man, how do I get a following like that? That person's probably been doing this and on the trail for a long time. And the individuals who got lucky and might have had a spike in following over the course of a year, we know what happens normally in that case. They show up, they went viral, they got all of these followings, but then a year from now, we don't even hear from them anymore. Why? Because they had no intent to be here for 5 years. They were chasing a short-term satisfaction, but not the long-term impact. 5 years, if your mindset is set on developing content and giving value for 5 years, you're going to create so much long-term impact that you're never going to go away. And last but not least, what I've learned from creating 1,500 pieces of content in a year is that volume matters. I would much rather put out a volume of content than the quality of content. Now, I know people are like, hold on, Don, but doesn't quality matter? Yes, volume is going to create quality. Volume, ladies and gentlemen, volume. Get in front of the camera as many times as you possibly can. I don't care if you find the video to be trash. I don't care if you think it sucks. Post it. Get it out there, because you're going to learn from it. Your community is going to see you move from the ground up. My community, many of you that are watching this, you've seen me from the ground up 4 years ago when I might have been creating a whole different type of content. I might have been talking about content or entrepreneurship or taxes. I was talking about relationships at the time. And people who followed me through are like, man, Don, I followed your journey, man. I'm even more inspired because I saw how 5 years ago you weren't even as good in front of a camera. And now today you could talk for hours. Again, that's where connection comes. That's where impact comes, because that 5 years of somebody following me, they saw the journey, and now it made them respect it so much more because they know it's not an overnight success. You got to get your volume in, right? Get that volume in. Practice as much as you can, and that's going to improve the quality of your content over time as you begin to create more volume. So creating 1,500 pieces of content, man, it was fun. I want to keep doing it. I want to move it to 2,000, matter of fact. And content is the future. Media is the future. If you want your product or service to be in demand, you got to get really comfortable with being in front of the camera. And that's one of the things I practiced on every single day, even when I did not enjoy it, even when I was not in the right mood or mind frame. I got to get in front of the camera. I got to stay sharp. I got to keep practicing. I got to keep putting out content. I got to keep feeding my audience. And it's going to begin to compound and catch up to you over time. And you're going to build such a loyal support system that now you don't got to spend a ton of money on leads on these platforms to try to buy leads, because you don't have valuable connections, which lowers your overhead costs. And these people that when you release your product or service, they're going to be the first to buy it, with or without reviews, with or without people talking about it. They're going to be the first to buy it because they love you. When they love you now, they're going to share this across the world with everybody else because you have ambassadors all over the ground. So drive in on your content today. Drive in over your content over these next 6 months, and I guarantee you're going to see a change. I'm Prince Donnell, founder of the Jumping Jack Tax franchise. See you next video. Peace.